Good afternoon. I'm Darren Holden, Director of Camp Anokijig, coming to you from inside of Western Lodge on the shores of Little Elkhart Lake at Camp Anokijig. Hopefully today finds all of our campers and supporters and staff safe and well at home and working through the current situation in the most positive way possible. I thought I'd take a few minutes again to update you on what's going on at Anokijig. Probably a few more minutes than I did last time. There's a little more information. But we want to give you a little bit about our plans, our current timetables, and how this situation is developing here at camp. Again, thankfully, no one has fallen ill here at camp. Our county has had a few more cases, just like everybody else, since the last time we talked. But the trend is moving downwards, so I think that's really positive news. On site, our staff are working to maintain camp and starting to get it set up, all doing the social distancing and all the precautions that everybody is talking about all over the place. However, we are still closed to visitors. Much of our office function has been moved to remote locations, but they're still operating, so we're still getting all that paperwork in, getting all the things ready so that we'll be ready when camp is ready to go. When I spoke to you last time, a little over 2 weeks ago, the Wisconsin Safer at Home policy restricting gatherings was scheduled to end April 24th. That policy has now been extended through at least May 25th. Of course, that wasn't the news we were hoping for, but the concern is about safety. And of course, here at camp, that's our biggest concern. So we'll definitely adhere to that policy until they say it's safe for it to change. Now, what does that mean? Unfortunately, for our groups and activities on site throughout that time frame, we're going to have to cancel those on-site activities. This encompasses our school groups, a couple of Indian Guide, Indian Princess groups, our Alumni Day weekend, and our family weekend for Memorial Day. For those of you registered for the Alumni Day weekend events, we are planning a Zoom event for that evening. Basically, we normally do a little state of the camp at those events, and we're going to do that on Zoom. And then afterwards, we'll break out into some breakout sessions on Zoom on questions you can ask me. So another one about giving us ideas for the future, kind of like that end of the summer staff meeting where we just think of anything that would make camp better. And then we'll have a couple just for chat rooms to catch up, to try to get as close as we can to possibly that alumni feel. We'll send you more information later by email, and we'll send it to all of our alumni on how to get involved with that. If you haven't gotten an email address to us alumni, make sure you send one to our office so we can include you on those lists. Now, that being said, we still expect to be open this summer. We're moving forward as soon as this wave blows over and the storm blows through. So we're not canceling the alumni event. We're rescheduling it and adding that virtual portion. We're going to be rescheduling it for August 28th through 30th. We just happen to have this year that extra weekend. August has 5 weekends this time around. It happens every once in a while. So it's open. We're going to take it for that alumni weekend. So we will get in contact with you again over the next week or so if you were signed up for the alumni weekend, and tell you how you can let us know if you want to move your registration to that weekend, whether you want to get a refund of any payments you've made, or if you're so inclined to give a donation towards our sustaining fund. For those of you scheduled to join us for our Memorial Day family weekend, well, that needs to be canceled on site also. So look for notification in your email over the next couple of weeks, where we'll see if whatever options might be available for you to move your registration to later in the summer family weekend, or a Labor Day or fall colors, and see if we can suit your needs there. If that doesn't work, of course, we'll give you the opportunity to have all of your fees or deposits returned in full, or if you're so inclined, to donate to our sustaining fund. So that takes us to the end of May. And what does that mean for past that? What does it mean for summer camp? Because I know that's the really big question everybody has. And at this point, unfortunately, I can't give you a full definitive answer as to when we can reopen. However, I can tell you that we're still planning to open for Summer Camp 2020. First off, we're planning to open just on time, and we're going through all those plans to be ready. But what will really drive the factors of when we do open up there's multiple factors that will figure into that. First off will be when the state of Wisconsin announces that we're in the phase of the Badger Bounce Back plan that allows us to have large groups gathered together again. So that's number one. Number two, the CDC and the American Camp Association are currently working on guidelines that are specific to resident camps so that they can provide us guidance on how best to be able to run camp after a pandemic like this. And the American Camp Association part is gathering all the resources to help us to be able to do that. So those should be coming out the next week or so we can start using those as guidelines going forward on planning. After we get those, we'll consult with our local health departments and the state department that does oversee us and our licensure. And we'll get together with our camp physician and our medical staff and develop policies and procedures that are specific to Camp Anokijig's programs so that we can plan ways to meet those guidelines and, again, to have camp go on when it does in the most safe possible way. Finally, after all that happens, our camp board and management will consider all of those steps, the advice of the state, the advice of the local officials, to determine the best time and way that we'll be able to open, as well as whatever additional forms or policies or procedures might need to happen to make those things happen. Please know, however, our biggest concern is providing a healthy, safe environment for kids to come to camp, for families, for groups. It is utmost in our concern that we want to make sure that we are going to provide what Anokijig is famous for, and that is the safest, most quality programming that any camp can provide. You can count on that as we go forward, whatever we do. So when will that all happen? When can I give you that kind of information? From all we've been told from the medical community and our information is that it's very likely that we won't have all that together until about the third week of May. So on or before May 23rd, we'll be making another announcement like this. We'll also email things out to let you know if we're going to proceed ahead as scheduled, full force, or if we're going to have to make any adaptations, changes, and different options. Now, I know it's really tough to wait that long for that answer, but by then is when we should have all the information we can to make the best possible and the safest possible decision. For those of you that are scheduled for sessions 1, 2, and 3, what that means is the normal deadlines, that get your stuff in 6 weeks before you come deadline, is actually going to fall before that answer comes, most likely. So as of today, we're going to be extending those deadlines. Those in weeks 1, 2, and 3, your deadline is now 3 weeks before you come, which means the first of those would be right after that announcement, about the 25th of May. Now, that being said, our office staff would empathetically and strongly beg you to send in as much of the paperwork information as you can right now, as soon as you can get it done, so we can stay ahead on all that so there's not a big rush once the green light is given. Besides, what else do you have to do right now? Take the time, fill it out. You can scan it to us. You can mail it to us. We're closed to visitors, so we'd prefer you don't bring it on site. But you can get that stuff in, and they can keep up with it and be ready to go when it's time to open those gates. And of course, those of you that have been waiting for physical and having trouble getting a physical, don't worry about that. Just let us know it's going to be coming on the way, and that's going to be just fine. For those of you concerned about our financial health, as I mentioned prior in the last video, we do have a little nest egg set aside, but we have to be honest that with the fact that we've lost the revenues for all of the spring, it's getting eaten into a little bit. There's still a bunch there, but I would say that The last video I made, I talked about donations, and there were several people that felt that call and sent in donations and stepped up to the plate. And we are so grateful for that, and we really thank those that did. If you're a person who thinks you might be in a position to donate, all I can tell you is this might be a pretty good time that you can make a big difference in the future of Anokijig, donating to our sustaining fund. Let's see here. You can check our donations page, and there's lots of easy ways to do it, by the way. There's monthly donations, there's easy PayPal things on there. We'll make it easy to you, and your support is always so important to Camp Anokijig. I've said that we're forward-reaching ahead with all the arrangements to open on time. However, we'd be irresponsible if we didn't plan for other options if they arise. So we're looking at all sorts of different contingencies to make the best possible outcome we can. We're actively doing those plans right now, and I can say for those of you who are wondering what happens to your fees if we need to cancel a week or change something, I can say that what we would first try to do is if we had to cancel a week, we'd try to find another spot for you later in the summer when we did open up. If that didn't work, if we couldn't find you a spot there, we would give you the option to have a refund of all the funds that you've turned in, or for you to transfer those funds to 2020, save your same spot you had, and get a jump on next year. I'm happy to say we've had just a small number of people that have canceled, and I appreciate all of those others that are being so patient as this decision comes on, because we all just want to get back to camp. I would ask those of you, if you are contemplating that decision of whether you're comfortable sending your kids to camp or not, I would ask you to wait to cancel or to wait to make that decision until after our next update, where we can tell you about any of those policies and procedures that we're going to implement to make sure that camp can be safe, and then you can make a real educated decision on whether it's a good thing to stay home for the summer. If you make that choice, once again, we will refund any of the funds that you have paid, or you can put it through till next year. If you're one of those folks that is needing to cancel because your financial picture has changed, I really encourage you to contact our office and let us see if there's a way we can find out a way to still allow your child to come to camp and take care of that financial end of things. We've got a lot of different options we can look at, so please just ask and we'll see what we can do to make it happen. So while that's all happening, we have our staff that are getting ready. They're training. They're getting ready, so they're ready to go at the moment's notice when camp opens up. We are releasing more tidbits online, doing some virtual campfires, and if you take a look at our website on our Camp at Home link, you'll see all sorts of things there, some videos of things that have happened. For instance, thanks to all those folks that have participated in the talent show a couple weeks ago. It was a great time. There's a video on there if you didn't get a chance to see it. And our staff here at camp are posting lots of things through Facebook and Instagram, and we're linking them on that page. Things like craft demos, solar classes, bee classes. Scott and John just did a really great one that'll come out very soon about our solar system and how big it actually is. Basically making a solar system out in the North Pasture. It's going to be really cool. There's also passwords that people have put in. There's games. Claude Gonzalez, you've seen his pictures. He's an incredible photographer. He's put up a whole bunch of his photography of camp that you can use for your Zoom backgrounds at home when you're on meetings or at school. And feel free to jump on there and grab those. There's some really cool photos that can bring you back to camp that way. As I mentioned, we've been doing those campfires. We got another one scheduled for next May 1st. Not next May, but next week, Friday, which is May 1st at 7 o'clock. There is a sign-up list already on the website for people can sign up to lead songs or request songs, get on part of our candle ceremony. And we're looking for more people to be involved there. And some of you folks that are from earlier time periods, we're looking for you to jump in. Maybe there's some of those older songs we want to bring back and teach these young folks. So come on out of the woodwork and add on to that campfire and have a good time with us. So that was a lot of information. And hopefully it helps you to see a positive trend, see a positive hope that will make this camp 2020 be strong and going forward once we get through this storm and the wind blows down. So I will say, if you've got any questions, please don't hesitate to contact me personally. You can call here to camp, or you can email me at DarinH, DARINH, at Anokijig, ANOKIJIG.net. I'd be happy to answer any of your questions. That being said, I'll leave you with just a couple of thoughts. Behind me, there's a sign that hangs next to the fireplace, and that sign has been on our dining hall since the very beginning. And basically it says that Anokijig is a Native American word that means we serve. We serve America, our neighbors, and others with kindness, intelligence, justice, integrity, and with the help of God. Now, in years past, when that was written, there was a staff member here by the name of Reed Arrow. And Reed Arrow was the archery director. And he was a pretty elderly man even at that time, but he was an excellent archer. In fact, he made his own longbows and taught kids how to make longbows here at camp. And at that time, every staff had a password that they did. And Reed's password, his demonstration of his password, would involve something I would never let happen today. He would come into the lodge, stand on one end of the lodge with his longbow, put up a target on the other end of the lodge, and shoot from end to end and hit it every time. His password was aim at something. In fact, I've been told that this arrow, that still says that right on it, hopefully you can see it right, is something that was on his cabin all the time he was here. Now, isn't that a great sentiment? Aim at something. Could you feel it in your heart today, tomorrow, in the near future, to aim at something on that list, on those values, to help somebody else, to help your neighbors, to serve your neighbors, to serve somebody else? I know we have many of our alumni that are, and camp families who are in the medical profession. They're out there serving America incredibly well. We thank you for all of your service. Think about it. Think about something that you can aim at. Think about something that would give you peace, something that would bring you hope, something that would bring someone else that peace and that hope. If we can think of those things, if we can serve that way, that's going to make our day better. When you're getting sick of all the virtual stuff, when you're trapped at home and pulling your hair out, step back and say, how can I help? How can I make somebody else's day better? Because you all know that have been here, that if you make somebody else's day better, it comes back to you multiple fold. If we can all do that, if we can have those attitudes, it's going to make everybody feel better. It's going to make everybody a little more calm. Eventually, things will get better, and we will all feel right. So, do that, and we can have a great time. Do that, you can feel good. And I would ask that you stay in touch, you think positive thoughts, and Rick Tick, it's not good night. It's not goodbye. It's just good night. See you later.